All right, today we are tackling a challenge that, let's be honest, silently drains our energy, our wallets, and our patience every single day. We're talking about that dreaded daily dinner scramble, and we've got a system that promises to end it for good.
Ugh, that question. Right? It sounds so innocent, but for so many of us, it kicks off this little wave of panic right around 3 or 4 p.m. It's that familiar feeling of dinner time dread, and today we are going to put a stop to it.
So let's start by just naming the enemy here. We're calling it the daily food fight. And it's not always a fight with your family or your partner. Most of the time, it's this internal battle, a struggle against time, indecision, and just being completely wiped out. It's a fight we all know way too well.
And this fight, it's got some classic moves. Does this cycle sound familiar at all? You're exhausted from work, so the mental energy to even think about what to cook is just gone. That leads to those crazy last-minute grocery store runs where you end up just grabbing the same 3 things you always do. A bunch of that food probably ends up going bad, and the whole thing can easily spark an argument at home.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The mental load, the constant planning, shopping, cooking, cleaning, it really can feel exactly like that. An unpaid, unappreciated second job, and man, is it exhausting.
But what if you could just resign from that job? Okay, so let's shift gears and talk about the solution. And I want to be clear, this is not a diet, it's not another set of rigid rules. Think of it as a planner for your plate, a simple framework designed to give you your freedom back.
And let's get this straight right now. We are not talking about restriction or some list of good and bad foods. Not at all. This is a system built to hand you back your most valuable resources, your time, your money, and maybe even your creativity in the kitchen.
Okay, so how does this thing actually work? Let's break it down. We're going to look at the 2 simple but really powerful tools that can take your daily dinner chaos and turn it into a calm, predictable routine.
The first tool is called the 3-2-1 method, and the absolute beauty of this thing is its simplicity. It's a weekly formula, kind of like a rhythm you can just fall into, that completely takes away the daily guesswork.
So here's how it works. On Sunday, you cook up 3 simple core recipes. Think a big pot of chili, a roasted chicken, a batch of grains like quinoa. Then, during the week, you get creative and remix those leftovers into 2 totally new meals. One night is set aside for totally guilt-free takeout. And get this, there's even a bonus flex night for when, life happens or you just feel like being spontaneous. And just like that, your whole week is planned out.
Now, what about getting bored of eating the same thing? That's where the second tool comes in. It's called the flavor matrix. This is your secret weapon against boredom. It's basically a plug-and-play system that shows you how to mix and match a handful of core ingredients into dozens, even hundreds of different meal combinations.
Okay, this is where the magic really happens. You just pick one thing from each column. So, chicken with broccoli, pesto, and pasta? Yeah, that's a classic. But what about tofu with bell peppers and teriyaki sauce over rice? Or maybe ground beef with spinach, tomato sauce, and quinoa? See? This one simple chart unlocks all this variety without needing a ridiculously long grocery list.
Okay, so the system is simple, I get it, but what's the actual payoff here? What do you really get when you finally stop that daily dinner scramble? All right, let's get to the good stuff.
The changes, well, it's pretty dramatic. Look at the left side. Constant decision fatigue, so much wasted food, and a huge cost in both time and money. Now look at the right with the planner. Dinners are actually stress-free. Food waste basically drops to 0. The money you save is huge, and the time you spend just worrying about food plummets from about an hour a day to just 1 hour for the whole week.
And let's talk about the money for a second, because this number it's just staggering. By cutting way down on food waste and those impulse buys at the store, the average household can save up to $2,400 a year. I mean, think about that. That's a vacation. That's a huge boost to your savings account. That is real money back in your pocket.
But here's the thing. It's not just about the cash. Not by a long shot. The benefits are so well-rounded. I mean, yeah, you're saving a ton of money, but you're also getting back just as much of your time. And that huge chunk of the pie for reduced stress, let's be honest, that part is priceless. So, when you boil it all down, a food planner isn't really about organizing your pantry. It's a tool for reclaiming your life. It's about taking back control of this really fundamental part of your day so you can put your energy into the things that actually matter to you.
So I'm going to leave you with this one last thought, and I want you to really think about it for a second. An extra 5 hours and an extra $200 every single month. What would you do with that? What hobby would you pick back up? Who would you spend that precious time with? That's the real power hidden in the answer to that simple little question, what's for dinner?